How's it going, fam? Welcome back to Erica's EDC, and today we are working on this little lizard here, the gecko from Jeff Davidson Knives. Whoo! We're in some hot water with this one, boys. We sure are. I've sharpened this 2 times now, this being the second time, but I figured why not turn the camera on and just record some of what happens because I have the time today. So the first time that I sharpened this, I used this DMT coarse stone here. This is a diamond stone. And then I went to the fine stone. That first one was 325 grit. This is the fine 600. And I left it at that. And the edge lasted for 1 day of use, and then it wouldn't cut paper at the end of the day. So now I'm going to do something a little different. Today we started off with extra fine, which is 1200 grit, and now I'm using a Spyderco ultra fine stone. I don't know what the grit is on this. That's the case. Ultra fine grit. And this is from Michael Richter at Richter Knives. He actually gave this to me as my Christmas present, so Michael, thank you. It looks like this, but I'll lower you guys down so you can see what I'm doing anyway. And I think we're going to hone with that and then leave it at that after we do a couple like stropping passes, just because the first edge that I did was like a more working toothy edge, and that did not work. So I'm thinking maybe if we polish it, it'll work. I don't know, I just want to try everything that I can to make this knife work, even though even though all hell has broken loose with the maker. But I'm still gonna try. I want to be fair. Sorry, I'm just putting my stones away here. I'm very particular about them, keeping them like nice and safe and happy. Okay, so let me lower you guys down real quick. Let's see. Yeah, I want to be fair, even though he is beyond upset right now and bombing everything of my existence, but that's okay. We don't have to react, do we? So, ultrafine stone here. Before I thought about turning the camera on, I did like work one side, build a burr, which was very small on this stone because it's so fine, flipped it, burr, deburr, all that good stuff. Now we're just doing like the final honing passes before we use our strop, okay? Because obviously I didn't record this whole progression. I didn't really think to, and it would be hours. I don't have editing software to do that. I do want to say, in deburring this earlier, on this very fine stone, which you touch it and it feels like air, like it's so soft. I couldn't even imagine what this is. It's so fine. The blade chipped out in a couple of spots from deburring, so I literally like, you know, did my jam, built a burr, flipped to the other side, did gentle with just the weight of the knife, stropping passes away from me, and as I was doing that, the blade chipped out in a few places, so that will probably be seen in the paper cut test when we do that at the end, okay? Just a heads up, like I'm figuring it's gonna hang up in a couple spots because the blade, the edge chipped out in the deburring process with this fine stone. That will be reflected, okay? So just keep that in mind. But I don't have time to go back and redo this entire edge and get rid of the edge damage. I've been working on this for an hour now. Okay? So all we're doing right now is honing this edge that I created on that DMT extra fine 1200 grit stone. We already have our edge. But I'm just very lightly, with the weight of the knife, no pressure, basically just cleaning up that apex that we created earlier. That's all we're doing, is just nice and gentle. Also, I will say this blade shape has a recurve. It's very slight. Sorry, my hands are so shaky. I just drank like a gross amount of coffee. There's a slight recurve in here. That's hard to get to on these stones. I have to kind of use like the side of the stone to get up in there. Again, that may be reflected in the paper cut test. The difficulty of reaching the recurve with the stone, with a short period of time to work on it. Okay, if I had all the time in the world, I would really, you know, use certain parts of the stone and try to get in there. I have to work today, so I just don't have all the time in the world to make this absolutely like a flawless edge. I'm just trying my best here, because basically I want to bring this to work again today and try a polished edge and see if it works better, because like I said, I put that working edge on to test it, and it lasted an 8-hour work day, and then at the end would not cut paper. It just needed to be redone again. Also, not sure how many of you are on Instagram, but Steve Kalari from Kalari Custom Knives, Super Steel Steve, he has made what I would classify as a video series now on this topic. And if you want to go educate yourself and learn in depth about all of this, I highly suggest going and watching his videos that he has been uploading to his Instagram page. He is a riot. He's really, really funny, but he's been making a lot of content on this topic, and he has so much more experience and knowledge than I do, so it's really cool to listen to him talk about, you know, annealing and quenching and heat treat and steel and carbide and you know, all of those cool sciencey things that I don't know as much about. I'm learning, but he's hands-on, you know. He's hands-on. I just work here. That's a Michael Richter quote. So as you can see, we're just doing like a really gentle type deal here. Just doing the final touches on this. I'm gonna just make sure that we didn't build like a micro burr on any part before we go to the strop. Nope. By the way, when I was working on this earlier, on that extra fine DMT, the burr that came up was wild. That was one of the strongest burrs I think I've ever felt. Thick and strong, dude. That was crazy. It was not the easiest to deburr at all. Really tricky. Time consuming. Time consuming. That's what it was. Time consuming. It was just a lot, and I was really nervous I was going to break it, and then sure enough I did later on anyway. I'll use the ceramic rod here to deburr very often. It works incredibly well for me. It's usually like 1 or 2 passes. It's super soft. It's like a little baby butt. And it works awesome for deburring without breaking the burr off. And I used this in the first place. It was like great, and then somehow I go to like the angel butt and it breaks the burr off, and now we have a chipped edge. I don't even know what happened. Whatever. Anyway, let's do some stropping passes, and then we'll kind of see where we're at in terms of today's testing edge. This strop has a whole bunch of compound on it, all different types, but it's 3,000, 5,000, 7,000 grit, and I can bet you anything that this stone is probably a higher grit than any of these compounds, so there's no point in like reversing to use these, you know. I've already hit that basically. I guarantee it. So we're just gonna slap it on the raw leather here and just do a couple of passes and see where she's at. Again, working away from yourself when you're stropping and not applying pressure. We don't want to convex the edge, right? Because this is supple. Well, this is pretty hard leather, but it's leather. It's going to have give no matter what. We don't want to convex that edge. So we're really just using like the weight of the knife, because if you put pressure, it could roll that apex, and we don't want that. We want it as straight and crisp and clean as possible, which we should have already created on the stone, because this is a hard, flat surface. This isn't going to convex anything unless you are wonky with your hand. You will convex the edge. This material will not. This could. You have more room for error of convexing with a strop because it's a pliable surface. So we're just very gently, with the weight of the knife, basically just knocking off any imperfections and kind of cleaning that edge up. Nice and gentle with some very easy passes. And this kind of like cleans the edge up as well from like, you know, little metal particles, and just, I don't know, it's like a nice little finishing touch, I guess, in my opinion. But we're really not using any weight of the knife. We're just, or any weight aside from the weight of the knife. We're just really gently kind of going back and forth here. Okay, let's see where we're at. You know, I haven't tested it yet, so I'm actually a little nervous. I did not check actually after if any further microchipping occurred from that ultrafine stone, so let me just look real quick. Let's see what it looks like. I have the worst lighting. So it's a little tiny bevel. We're just following what came from the maker. It's got a good amount of glisten, but I wouldn't say it's like mirror polished. I would really have to work on this stone to mirror polish it. It's definitely capable, but it's the time, right? Because you're basically polishing, buffing out the previous scratch pattern. And that takes time and work to, you know, do that. So we don't have a full mirror polish, but it's, you know, it's kind of glistening. You can see a little bit of reflection. You can see that it's an even bevel through and through, okay? I'm just looking here. I can see my microchips from Deburring from earlier, and it looks like there may be a few. I'm just going to use the tip of my fingernail here. Yeah, I can feel a couple. Let's see how it does. We'll see if they reflect on paper. Okay, so that's not too bad. I can feel a little bit of resistance, but it went through. Man, my hands are so shaky. I don't do well with that amount of coffee. Sorry, this is a calendar from work. Okay, I would say that's a good edge. Yep, I just hit one of those microchips. But it definitely is sharp. You can kind of hear it. It's sharp. So we're going to test this edge, okay? Because I'm just trying to document it, right? I've said from the beginning, my goal is not to take away business from anyone, and it's not to crap on anyone's day or anything. I don't know what else you want me to do. You know what I'm saying? It's a knife. Jesse and I bought it. We're expecting it to cut, and if it doesn't, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we bought it for $265 with a Kydex sheath. I'm not a big fan of Kydex, so Jesse was kind enough to add an additional, I think it was $30 for the leather sheath, which I haven't been saying because I'm trying not to be a dink about anything. I'm really not. We had to add an extra, I think, $30 for the leather sheath. So you're at $295 for this setup if you want a leather sheath to carry it in. You know, almost $300 for this 80 CRV2 knife, and I'm trying my best genuinely to get it to cut, to perform for a significant period of time, and it's not. It's lasting a couple of hours of like normal use. And I'm sorry that that upsets people. I'm sorry that some of you are sending me like messages being like, you have no idea what you're talking about. It's such a great steal. ABS tells me it is. I'm showing you. I'm recording it, guys, like without editing. I've never edited my videos. I don't even know how. So I'm literally in real time recording what's happening. I'm sorry if it doesn't work. Trust me, it sucks. It's not like I want it to fail. Geez, we spent almost $300 on this damn thing. So, you know, in real time, you watched me finish up the sharpening and stropping progression. We cut paper very cleanly, for the most part, other than the little microchip, okay? You're seeing that. You're seeing the edge that we are going to go into work today with, okay? Even, clean, not fully polished because I don't have time, but clean, okay? And sharp. I am giving this a fair chance, and I'm going to bring it into work today and try to see how long it lasts cutting normal everyday things like cardboard and plastic and zip ties and dogs of I was gonna say dogs of bag food. Bags of dog food. Oh my god, you can tell I have the flu. We're gonna see how it does, okay? I'm gonna try to just keep recording content on it. When I'm done with this, I'm done. I will say. It is really interesting when a consumer makes content on a product trying to say that they're trying to get it to work, but so far not so good, and the maker just goes off the rails. Every single video, like just dogging, man. So I will say when I'm done, that I will not be revisiting this unless things change. Not impressed. But as a fair reviewer, I am trying different sharpening progressions. I am trying to make this product work for me. And to be fair, I am recording everything that's happening in real time with no editing to not tamper with the evidence, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to bring this to work and go use it, and I'll let you guys know how it fares, okay? So go use your shit. Learn how to sharpen your knives. Ooh, that's a nice angle, huh? Maybe we just had to block the light a little bit. That's a nice, check that out. That's pretty. Go use your shit. Learn how to sharpen your knives. I will see you on the next video. I love you so much, fam. Take care.